What's going on, everybody? It's Joe from the Acceptable Casualties here to take a look at some 15 millimeter war elephants. They're Carthaginian war elephants from Xyston. I ended up picking these up. These are going to be part of the Punic Wars project that I'm going to be doing. I want to get back into ancients a little bit more, so it's going to be like more of the army building side of what we're going to be doing on the channel for at least the summer and fall. I might add another third army into it. So it's going to be Carthaginians, Republican Romans, and then I might add another army if I have some time. I'm able to kind of bang these out quick. So this is the beginning of the Carthaginian project, the war elements from Xyston. Awesome models, really highly detailed. I've bought from them before, and I loved it when I had Greeks from Xyston. They make really good infantry, 15 mil for ancients. I think they have some other stuff there as well, but I just know their ancients line. I'm familiar with it, and their models there are fantastic. So these are the Carthaginian war elephants that you get there. I haven't fully assembled it. The riders all come off here, so I'm just going to take it off for simplicity's sake to kind of show this off. So this is the one without the war tower on it. So a lot of good details on this model. Really cool. It comes in 3 pieces, so you get each half of the body, as you guys could see the line right there. Each half of the body, you assemble that, put it together, and then you just got to put the head, and it's like a little round like divot that you can kind of place it in there. It assembles like super easy, minimal cleanup on these. I think I had to clean up the bottom of the feet and maybe 1 or 2 with like the little like metal like mold marks that are on there. Same thing with the elephant head. It was like 1 for each ear, 1 on the top of the head, and then 1 down here on the bottom of the tusk. But that was really all like the major cleanup, and it really isn't even that much. Like super easy to clean these up, and they look really good. So this is the one that doesn't have the war tower on it. Here, I'll pull up the rider as well so you guys can see. So this is the man in charge of the elephant, the rider on top, as you guys can see, just kind of sits on his head. Looks like a regular Carthaginian. I don't know if you guys can tell, but he does have a hammer that he's holding right there. A little fun historical note, if you guys aren't really familiar with war elephants or how they were used back in ancient times, but terror weapon more than anything. I mean, if they got in your enemy's lines, they can wreak absolute havoc just based on the size of them. And this is still in the time of swords and spears and shields. So I mean, if you wanted to go fight an elephant, you'd have to get within 4 or 5 feet in the best case scenario with a spear to really kind of take one of these things on. These elephants were trained to pick people up with their trunks and throw them, step on people. I mean, they were absolutely just devastating if they crashed in your line, but they were very temperamental as well. If they were panicked or if they were injured, there's been just tons of accounts of these elephants turning around, crashing into their own lines, just careening in through their lines, going like in the left or right direction. I mean, turning around, running down their own cavalry, just fleeing the battlefield. They were very temperamental if things weren't going their way or if they got spooked. So these riders that were in charge of the elephants, they would carry this like foot-long spike, and then they'd have this large hammer. And if the elephant, like I said, if the elephant ended up panicking and losing it and started becoming a threat to their own troops, they would end up taking that spike, put it to the back of the elephant's head, and their job would be to drive that spike into the brain of the elephant, killing it before it did any other damage. So, like I said, huge terror weapon. But when things went bad for you, when they turned around and started taking out your own troops, this was really the only way to kind of take out the elephant before it ended up laying waste to your lines. And if that rider on the back was maybe killed by a javelin or speared off or hit with a sling or anything like that, and you didn't have a rider and the elephant got panicked, well then then your guys are gonna be forced to either just fight the elephant or hope it ran in another direction and didn't really come and attack your own troops. So just a little bit of history, a little side note here. Like I said, I love the war elephants. They're such a cool unit for wargaming and just historically as well. Like they're just I don't know, I find them like one of the most fascinating units for ancients. So this is the look at the first one right here. I'll pull up the second one. I'll stop blabbering. So this is the second war elephant that I got from Xyston. This is going to be the one with the war tower. So there's 2 guys in the back. They're going to have javelins. They're going to kind of throw those down and skirmish as the elephant goes in and fights. We'll put them to the side. I also didn't attach this rider as well. For painting purposes. It's just easier to do it without it. So this is the elephant here. As you can see, the head pose is a little bit different, and the body is different as well, just because it has like the ropes in the middle over here. There's also a platform that goes underneath this. I'll explain that in a second. So yeah, minimal cleanup on this one. Like I said, just a little bit of polishing up on the feet, kind of flatten them out. I think the trunk had 1 or 2, and then there was some mold lines for the ears and head. But like I said, very minimal. So everything I've ever gotten from Xyston has very minimal cleanup. Super easy to put together. This one goes together the same as the other one. The only difference is, as you guys can see with this war tower here, it comes as 4 separate walls that you're going to have to kind of glue together. And on the back of this elephant, it's like a flat floor piece. I can't really tell here, but you can a little bit, I guess. There's a flat floor piece, and then it's squared off, so you can kind of fit the walls around it. And then the last one I kind of had to offset just a little bit, but it's still glued really well to the flat parts of the these two with the shields. So super easy to put together. 3 pieces for the elephant as well. Not a lot of cleanup. I really like this one. So I'll pull up the riders as well. So the actual elephant rider for this miniature is the same as the last one. Nothing different on there. Nothing really to talk about. I said he got the big hammer there, and that's what he has. And they sit really well too on the heads over here. So then you got 1 Carthaginian troop right here, just set up. He has his one arm, so you can kind of throw him over the lip of one of the walls, and then his other hand, you can kind of throw like a small javelin in there and get him set up for that. Really nice casts on these two. Like I said, minimum cleanup for all this stuff. It was all really nice. And here's the other one right here. Here's the other guy, kind of like thrown down. And they both fit up in here with enough of room. Like I said, you could glue them in if you wanted to, and then maybe paint them that way. I just find it a lot easier to just keep them out separate, get a lot of the detail work done, and then they'll look a lot better doing it that way, I think, opposed to just gluing it all together now, priming it and putting it out there. So these are the Carthaginian elephants from Xyston. Great models. I think this one right here I got for $6. And then this one I got for $8. This is US dollars. I ordered them from Noble Knight Games. They carry, if you guys are looking for a lot of Ancients models in 15 mil, and I know like most of the manufacturers outside of Old Glory, and there might have been another, I can't think who else it is, here in the United States, but all the European ones, Noble Knight Games does a really good job of keeping a lot of the models in stock. So you can get stuff like this without having to pay overseas shipping, and you know, it's usually what, like 20% I think of your order is what it costs to ship this stuff. Where if you go through Noble Knight Games here, if you live in the United States, I think it's like $6.95 for your order, and if you go over $100, I think it's free shipping. You can get most of the models that you'd want over here and not have to pay that shipping charge. So just something to keep in mind as I pass that information along to you guys. But yeah, I said, like the Xyston Carthaginian elephants, awesome model if you're looking to get into Ancients and do the Punic Wars. This is a great place to start. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll have a couple more of these coming out too with some of the more units that I'm going to be doing for Carthage, and I'll catch you guys later.